Two fingers.
I do two.
Oh, okay.
I'm a two-finger waver.
I just do one.
You did one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a two-finger waver.
Not the one in the middle.
Yeah. Good point.
That was
Well,
that was more
saying moving to Dallas, when I moved here in '93, I was still in that habit. I was still driving, and I'd do this to people.
Goodness, you get carpal
I
tunnel here, right?
I didn't realize how many people were here.
Yeah.
But then also people were like giving me the one finger in the middle because they thought I was doing that. I'm like, wait a minute, no, this is I'm just doing waving.
I was being friendly.
I was being friendly. It didn't work out that way, so I had to stop. More so because I didn't want carpal tunnel. There's many people as I passed on 75.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's taken a while to
Well, even
settle
when we
in.
first started dating, I would wave at people, and Stacy goes, "What are you doing?"
Like, do you know them? He's like, no.
No, but I'm just
So-
being. It's a happy day. I'm just welcoming them, saying hi to them.
It is. And then, when I took him to New Jersey, and I was like, listen, we don't talk to people. You don't have to wave. You don't say hello to everybody.
That's really what you do in New Jersey.
I was like, you just
Oh
go
my
about your
gosh.
business. So we were walking up and down the boardwalk, and every single person, Ben was like, hello, good morning. And people were like,
They responded. I thought
Okay.
they responded very positively.
a lot of them did respond, and my mom and I were like, people are talking back to him. Like, we were just shocked. But
Well,
Give it a
that's
chance.
what happens exactly when a nice guy comes into New Jersey and
Yeah.
we just bring Texas to you
Yeah.
guys. What happens?
absolutely.
All right, guys, we are live, ready to roll. This is the 70th episode.
Wow.
It is. Of
70.
the Bob Mortgage Jam session,
Wow.
number 70.
That's great.
Stacy and Ben Massar stopped by. There you go. How did I do?
That's perfect.
Was that perfect?
It was.
Absolutely perfect.
I mean, guys, you got to know that it's Massar.
Yes.
It's a Dutch name.
Yes, my parents moved from Holland in 1965.
Wouldn't have picked that.
19.
I mean, I didn't. Well, Massar. I didn't. I'm thinking. Well, I guess you said like French.
I think it has a French derivative.
Yeah,
Along
yeah.
the way back when.
Yeah, I kind of felt like we were sitting here at like Cafe Du Monde having some beignets and a coffee when we were talking about that all of a sudden. That's kind of the way it made me
Kind of
feel.
wish.
Yeah. Well, I did get you a coffee.
You
We
did.
need a little
did.
powdered sugar here, right?
I know. Too messy for.
We can get Jen. I'll tell
You'll
Jen
send
to do
her?
that.
Yeah.
I'll send her to get some powdered sugar. That's what we do for all of our kids' birthdays. We have like a little routine. It's
Oh, that's cool.
crazy. So our routine, because we never know like when we're all going to be home at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So on occasions like that, we always start out in the morning. Like breakfast is our big thing, right? Because we never can control what happens at like
Right,
dinner
but you're all
time.
going to wake up at the same place. That's
Right,
great.
right. So breakfast is big, but we'll always do our birthdays in the morning. So we get powdered donuts, and we make a little powdered donut
Oh,
nut
that's
cake
cool.
with the candles in it.
I always like new
perfect.
traditions and seeing what other families do, and can we incorporate that in our lives somehow?
Powdered donuts. It's
Powdered
a good thing to
donuts.
incorporate. I can only do 4.
Well,
that's
That
about as max as I can do.
What?
Well, we incorporated my family tradition of singing to the birthday person in the morning, waking them up,
They wake them up by
Oh, yeah.
singing. I go,
Yes.
that is.
and give them a present in the morning, first thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall getting a present.
Well, you're still sleeping.
Okay.
I couldn't get you to wake up, babe.
It doesn't sound like a happy birthday, waking up to people standing around you singing, but
Usually it's like bacon and coffee.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And
I got
eggs.
breakfast in bed.
that's true,
Oh,
probably.
you did?
He's good about, he brings coffee to me in bed, and
I know my wife's watching, Jen, so and your birthday's coming up in 3 days.
oh, you got a
Whoa.
double whammy. You got birthday and Christmas.
Yes, I did.
Well-
And we had our anniversary on the 7th. Birthday, Christmas. From November 19th, which is Vivian's birthday, on through November, December, because I have those 3, and then my oldest Olivia, her birthday is January 27th. I got like the whole November to January. I
You're
work
just
all
booked.
year for those 3 months.
That's good.
You need
Yeah.
to do something fun in July or June.
Well, it's my birthday in September,
Oh,
but they don't
okay.
really care.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
I don't, it
Your
is
birthday's
another day.
September too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I thought it was always just going to be about like birthdays and anniversaries and those kind of things. Well, then we had our first child, and then I really started to understand how important Mother's Day was.
Yes.
That became more important than an anniversary.
You know, I have a theory on Mother's Day. It's probably
Yeah.
unpopular.
Uh-oh.
Father's Day is really more like Mother's Day. Mother's Day, there's so much pressure. You know, like, am I right? I feel stressed out on Mother's Day. Because everybody they try so hard to make it so nice that you have to get everything in and it has to be just so perfect. Whereas Father's Day, he's happy with a hamburger and we just hang out and relax. And Father's Day
I'll even make it.
I know, right?
Exactly.
But Father's Day is more relaxing almost than Mother's Day. I feel like there's so much pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm just not that way. I'd rather just hang out and relax and just be together. But there's so much pressure to get it all in and be perfect.
Hey, Brandon, you gotta get my quotes going, brother.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff going on today. I think he came in late or something.
He was out late last night.
He's got like 5 hands over there.
Right, he's got like 5 hands, 6 cameras going. So, we're here to talk real estate.
We are.
Guys, I want you to know, I got this, if you see my stage and everything over here, look at this awesome flowers, the flowers you brought me. I don't know what they are, but
It's
really
a
appreciate it.
poinsettia.
Poinsettia.
Yeah.
Thank you, see.
And it's supposed to be yellow. It's not dying.
No, I just show it matches.
Yes. We are big.
Everything
We're
about
big
them.
on branding. We're
Yes.
big on.
You walked in, I mean, it's like,
I know,
from
right?
there, your whole
I don't know if you
outfit,
can see. I had
the
a scarf.
poinsettias.
Yeah, we try really hard, and Ben's wearing yellow tie.
I already put all that
yeah.
together.
Partially it's because we have closings today. We've been
Well, you have
blessed
closings.
to get 2 closings today on one
Yes.
day, and we always try to wear yellow. My last closing, I wore a
So
Christmas
yellow
sweater,
is your closing
and it
day,
felt
closing
weird.
color day? Okay.
Yeah, everything we do, our branding is yellow, yellow and black.
Nice.
So
Unless it's
I-
a Halloween closing.
I do go in costume on Halloween closings. Yes,
really?
I've gone as a prisoner, an inmate,
And then May.
and I forgot the other one, but
It was funny.
So if we could arrange any Halloween closings, it's more fun. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, this is Christmas time. I mean,
It
where's the
is.
Santa outfit?
We actually do have a,
No, you don't.
for today, we do have a Santa hat, but guess what color it is?
Yellow and black?
It's yellow. Yellow
We
and
got
black.
yellow Santa hats for later, so
Really?
we do. Because, home for the holidays.
That's awesome.
But we, always bring things wherever we go for certain reasons. Not
Right.
just, that will die eventually.
Sure. I'm
but-
going to try to keep it alive more than
We'll
long,
check
more than
in and
today.
see, yeah.
Right.
We had
Come back tomorrow,
actually-
really quickly. Come back tomorrow.
We keep our house really warm because I'm always cold. So I said to Ben, you better put these plants in the car because we'll either forget it in the morning or it'll die overnight. So
Uh-huh.
it's been in the car.
Speaking of plants, though, really quickly, how many Christmas trees do you have in your house?
Oh,
Well, we technically really have one tree. It's a live one.
no.
Okay.
We have one live tree.
Don't go technical.
Okay.
We have 4
4.
inside and 1 on the front porch.
Yes.
We have 5 decorated Christmas trees. And
That
just so
is
you know, we
awesome.
do not have a large home.
No, it's a small house.
It's a small, it's the perfect house, but it
Right.
is not large. So they are very close to each other.
Uh-huh.
It's like living in a little forest.
Lights.
But it feels great. It's
Yes.
got to feel awesome. I looked at one of the pictures on social, and you got I think you were playing. I don't know what movie it was.
Oh, Elf. Yeah,
Elf, okay,
Gotta
and then
check
you had-
Elf off the list.
Yeah,
every
and you had
year,
it was a great setting. 2 awesome trees. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, think about what it's like over there. You got to have. It's obviously in the spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to be in the spirit. It's a little harder for me this year. I don't have my daughter on Christmas, so
Right.
that makes it a little bit more challenge for me to go all in, be in the spirit.
Okay.
So Ben's been trying to over decorate, and I'm just gonna have to clean it up. So I'm trying. So he won the battle. We have a real Christmas tree. I was like, we don't need it. She's leaving on Thursday. It'll be over.
But it smells so much better than those.
It's
artificial
funny. It
trees.
actually does smell really good. The last several years, they don't smell anymore.
Really.
I find, don't you?
So we do. Our tradition is a white, like a flock tree,
Mm-hmm.
right, and with big red lights. Like those old
Oh, yeah.
school lights. Just what my wife grew up with, and we've carried that tradition forward. And it's they're usually just it's a big white flock tree with those big old red lights.
That's good.
Same lights we put on the outside of our
Yeah.
house. I mean, we don't do the
That's
small
cool.
ones. We do those
Hey.
big ones.
Go
I
big.
got-
Yeah, go big or go
and
home.
Ben loves blue. Like to me, I don't associate Christmas and blue, but we have quite a bit of blue lights outside our house. I think it's more Cowboys related than Christmas, personally.
Oh, don't bring those.
Sorry,
Don't bring the
yeah,
Cowboys
sorry.
up.
That's next
It was
week.
it was really good. We were starting off
We
with
just
a
lost our
really
viewers.
good
We don't have
show.
to talk
but
about next year yet. We got next week, so we're in good shape.
You're
We're
good
we're
shape.
going week by week at
Week
this
by
point.
week now.
Yeah, let's
It's
don't.
gonna be all right.
Yeah, it needs to happen this coming week.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to
It
get
will.
to the last week. Okay. Okay, so real estate, how long? How long have you been in the game?
15 years.
15 years.
Mhm, yes.
Did you start when you were 5?
You're sweet.
You stole my line.
I
Sorry.
started in California, and I was selling there for 10 years,
Uh-huh.
and then moved to Texas.
Right.
Took about a year and a half to kind of, get divorced, restart my life.
Okay.
I'm trying to say, how do I say that? And then
You
I
just
went,
you
just say
you
it.
do what you do. You just
yeah,
say.
it just
right.
sits out there. And then I went and got my mortgage license.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I thought, being a single mom, I'm going to get into the mortgage industry because that is going to give me more stability and I'll have set hours.
Mm.
And yeah.
Yep, 7 days.
So-
Well, no different than what you're working now. 7 days a week. You know.
Well, the difference is, and this is what I believed, is you go home and you don't go home. Like the market continues, loan terms change, everything can change from one day to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And I, being honest, it was very difficult to keep up and
Mm-hmm.
be of my best service to my clients. So after about a year and a half maybe of that, I was like, I'm getting back to the houses because I enjoyed it more, as well as our industry does not change as often as your side does.
We change daily.
You do.
I mean, there's daily change.
And for me, being a single mom, I was like, I know real estate. I've been doing it for a decade. I just thought the switch was going to be
Yeah.
easier in a way, but it really.
No, but and I'll tell you, having talked to you and worked with you and stuff like that, that knowledge from doing, as an originator, being in the business has helped. I know it helps
Yes.
you and your clients because of how you're educating them along the way, right?
It does. I am like the best backup for a lender ever. I'm like, if I see you on Facebook and you were buying, I'm like, do not buy any furniture, I give them all the rules of,
Right.
the credit, don't let anyone run your credit, don't buy a car, don't buy the furniture. I had clients in the past in California who went out and purchased rugs and carpet and didn't get their house.
Yeah.
They did not listen. So now I tell people, don't be those
Yeah.
clients
Uh-huh.
because you really will have a house full of furniture and no house.
And no house.
And what are you
Yeah.
going to do with this new carpet? You're going to install it in the house you don't own.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the education really does carry over and help. It makes me
Yeah.
a more well-rounded agent.
That is one of the biggest things that we communicate on. Even we do communicate it up to approval, but after approval, like when the client says, "Okay, hey, you're approved," we know what they're thinking.
They're like, oh, I'm good now. I
Now,
can-
good, right? No. We don't want you to. But Bob, we're clear to close. Yes, I know, but still, do not do it, please.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till closing, then go purchase it. Just look, even when we're clear to close, I mean, it's never done until it's done.
Yes.
And I'd never want to put somebody in a position where I say, oh yeah, go ahead and go buy that, those appliances and all that stuff. Let's just wait.
Well, you had a
Yeah.
client, you were good to go in California, very wealthy client,
Mm-hmm.
went out and bought a Ferrari. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
Was
you could
not
afford
his
it all.
finest moment.
So no matter how wealthy you are with your situation,
Look, you're 100% correct on that. It doesn't matter the wealth,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it doesn't matter the income they make. It still could impact everything that we have going on
Right.
with a loan.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I find clients that do have so much savings or so much reserves, they feel almost like, well, I know I have enough, I can do it. Whereas the clients who are getting their first home, they're like waiting on groceries. Like they want that house so bad, they're pushing off expenses.
Right, I'm like, no. You can buy groceries.
Yes.
You could do the normal kind of purchases that you have in everyday life, just not those big one-time purchases where you're taking out credit to, buy a furniture set and stuff like that. So now, how long? Because you guys work together.
We do work together.
Right.
And Ben's a lawyer.
Right, yep.
So in the mornings, he is a
Criminal defense.
criminal defense.
That
He
works
wants to
well
be
for the
very
clients,
clear.
right? That works well
you
for
know,
the clients.
it's funny because last couple of closings, we'll walk out of the title office and he'll go, "Hey Ben, my wife got a traffic ticket." I said, give it to me. So it's all right.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So most of our clients will use him for like tickets and stuff.
That's the only thing they've used him so far for.
Oh, okay.
Good. That's all we want you to use them for.
Yes,
I mean,
he
some of my
does-
clients do go to the big house, but that's another story.
That's a whole other story, yeah. He does everything from traffic tickets to murder.
Okay.
No one's called for any of those things other than the tickets. But he'll be done with court sometimes. He can be done at 10, 11, even
Sure.
12.
Uh-huh.
And I'm up late at night, I'm working, I'm trying to do showings, and there was a moment several years ago where he was watching
It was
the
a baseball
Rangers
Uh-huh.
play
game.
baseball,
West Coast game. Yes.
had a beer in his hand, and I
It
was...
was about midnight.
Yes. And let's just say I was like, that is it. You're getting your license. I couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
And he was like, okay. Like,
That's not what I said.
I know, well, we'll just leave that
No, I
on.
said yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
So we
Hey.
just decided, like, I needed help.
Uh-huh.
And I could not be my best agent,
Okay.
my best wife, the best mother, being spread so thin.
So thin, right?
And he was just, done at 11, hanging out at the gym for a couple hours and watching a baseball game. And I was like, no, we have to partner. And it works out great.
Okay.
It truly is a really good fit. Ben loves showing homes. He
Uh-huh.
loves doing all of that. He likes to drive. So he's happy to go anywhere. He's shown properties all the way to Fort Worth and to the border of Oklahoma. Like, he'll go
I
anywhere.
didn't even go to the casino.
And he was so close and didn't go, yeah.
I wanted to, but I didn't go.
Didn't go.
I stay a little closer to home because I got to get in that carpool line or
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. So we work really well, and he doesn't like doing contracts. You would think being a lawyer, he'd be good at that. I
Sure.
do all the negotiating, all
Uh-huh.
the contracts.
Okay.
So everything from contract to close is pretty much my responsibility. Now, we do show a lot together,
Mm-hmm.
but having him take those clients that were wanting to see property after work or on weekends. So when I
Right.
have my daughter, he does almost all the showings.
Gotcha.
And then when she's not with us, we like to go together because it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's fun,
It
right?
is fun.
Well, even prior to me getting my license, I was still going to open houses with her. I was
Uh-huh.
still going
You're
with
still
her
active,
Yeah.
because
right?
I'm not going to let her go out
Sure.
with a client for the first time. Strangers. I mean,
Sure.
it's a very strange business if you think about it. You're
Right.
inviting strangers into a house when you're there all by yourself. So
Right.
we're saying I'm here, I'm alone. So
Yep. Hey, Brandon. Sorry. Okay. Okay. The images. There's something with those images. You just have to watch it. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
yeah, so he was coming with me anyway.
Uh-huh.
And then he was my unlicensed assistant at one point, so he could get access to MLS to help out.
Uh-huh.
And then he eventually went and got his license. So
Okay.
But what really amazed me, so I'm just listening to her, because she's talking on her little headset to her clients and stuff like that, and other agents.
Uh-huh.
I took the exam to get my license, and it's like everything that Stacy said was right there. I mean, it's like
he
it was
like
amazing.
already lived it for years,
I have
hearing
lived
it. Yeah.
It was
Right.
really amazing, and just her knowledge of that contract. I really think that's people understand that contract. She understands that contract.
Right. Well, and I can fully appreciate that, and how that helps in the negotiation side of everything is really understanding all the little parts of those contracts. Because unfortunately, I have agents sometimes come to me saying, "Hey, how do I write this contract? How do I do this?" Or, it is. I mean, it is what it is, right? There are a lot of agents that just don't know. They're brand new to the business. They maybe only do one deal a quarter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is, and so they or their broker isn't involved.
Yeah.
You know, there are companies out there where
There
their
are.
brokers don't get involved, and they come to me. I'm like, look, I can tell you, I can tell you, but I'm not. I'm not really
that contract is
authorized
our
to.
tool.
Right.
I mean, it is a tool, and if you know how to use it, you can really benefit your clients, greatly by understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
And agents who list properties, if they don't understand the contract, they may be allowing their clients to agree or disagree to things. And they don't understand what they're actually agreeing or disagreeing to. So
What's driving you guys to keep doing what you're doing? I mean, why do you do this, and why do you continue?
Well, I think I love working with Stacy.
Nice.
You know, it's fun. You know,
Yeah.
my parents.
I love that he said with.
Right.
So
I do-
sweet.
well,
I'm just kidding.
yes.
He tells everybody I'm his boss, but no.
but I grew up in a household where my parents worked together. They
Uh-huh.
opened
Okay.
up the Dutch Art Gallery here in
Uh-huh.
Dallas. You know.
Oh, wow, okay.
50 years ago now, I guess.
Uh-huh.
My brother owns it now. But,
Uh-huh.
you know, they always work together. And I love working with Stacy. You know,
Yeah.
we sit down, drink coffee in the morning, talk about what we got to do.
Yeah.
It's
Or
fun
she tells me
working-
what to do, actually.
No,
But
no.
that's fine.
No,
Pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it's fun working together, but
Uh-huh.
we still have, like, I'm excited today for this closing, this one closing that we have, because they are friends that we've met, you know, through my daughter in school,
Right.
and they're so excited,
Mhm.
like, to get into their home and to have these roots, because they've moved a little bit here and there. And it's like, I just love that feeling of, we did our final walkthrough and they were like, oh, you could just sense the happiness, the excitement. You know, memories are going to be made there. Holidays are going to happen there.
Right.
And for me, I just love being a little piece of that story. And after closing, we never, ever let our clients go. Like they're stuck with us.
Build a relationship with people.
We joke
Right.
around that we're committed to life now. Like, I am their realtor. They get so
It's not
much.
a transaction, it's a relationship.
You know,
It
and
is.
there are some people who go, how do we meet these people? I mean, they live way over there, and they go, man, we sold them. What? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we're friends. I mean, it's
Right.
just, we're just
It's-
friends.
It starts one way and it always ends up. We've had very few transactions where we don't see them throughout the year, you know, at different events. We do quite a few client events.
Mhm.
We really believe November's our big month because it's the month of, you know, being grateful and appreciative. And we don't skip Christmas, but, you know, not everybody celebrates. But
Mhm.
other than that, we feel like everyone's so overwhelmed at Christmas.
Right.
We just want people to feel appreciated, you know, in November as our end of the year thank you. But they hear from us throughout the year. We drop by little gifts.
Yeah.
We call, we email, we text. They get newsletters. At some point, I'm waiting for someone to be like, enough, Stacey, stop.
Well, you know, in one of your videos, you had said something about within your, I guess, your 2019 goal was to give more throughout the course of the entire year than just it being about like a November or a December type deal.
Yes.
So elaborate a little bit.
Well, this November we did a pie event. So
Uh-huh.
anyone who had bought a house with us in the past,
Mm-hmm.
in Texas, they gotta clarify.
Yeah.
We invited them to come to our home, and we had a pie for them, and we had like cider and hot chocolate and snacks, and
Sure.
we visited, and it was almost like an open house at our house.
Right. Yep.
And I feel like when you invite your clients into your own home, it's different.
Oh, oh my
It's
gosh.
a different level of connection. And a lot of people have joked around like, we just really want to see what your house looks like because you're a realtor. And I'm like, really? Like, that surprised me because I feel like it's just a house.
Right.
But they were thinking of all the houses out there, which one did you pick? Which
Right.
I never even thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we also did a Christmas photo shoot where we sent out an invite and we had a photographer come to the home
Right.
and they did family photos for our past clients. So, and we did it early November so they had time to get their Christmas cards out.
And they were so appreciative of that because they never make time to have the whole family together for
Right.
pictures.
Yep.
you
Or
know?
they don't budget for it, you know, and they're like, okay, so we can go to Stacy's house locally, she's gonna pay for it,
Uh-huh.
and no one's gonna say no.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
So they just
exactly.
come. And the messages we got afterwards were, you know, one family, they had 4 kids, I believe, and they're like, we don't have a photo of all 6 of us. And I just love the fact that that photo is gonna be hanging in the house that I sold them, and that they're just gonna know that we really do care about the whole family, and
Mm-hmm.
we are there. But this year, coming up, I wanna do quarterly events. So I wanna do,
Gotcha.
you know, something first, second, third, and fourth quarter.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, like last year we did a Mother's Day event, all the women.
Yep.
We did mani-pedis.
Oh,
That was
nice.
fun. We were
Well,
planning a guy's
Why,
event.
why can't we come in now? I like my manis and petties.
Well,
I mean,
I wasn't allowed. Well, I did show up to
oh,
say hello.
He did.
Right.
But we were planning to do
We're-
another event. Well, we didn't get to it because things happened.
It got a little
Um,
hot here in Texas. We were going to do a Top Golf or a
We're
round
gonna
of
do that this
golf.
year.
and
Top I think is easier.
it got
Very
really
easy.
hard with the end of school year, summer vacations, and the Texas heat. So it didn't get scheduled last year, but this year.
Probably has to be like a March.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it around
But
March or
Margarita
April.
Day, Margarita Day was good. Very
We
successful.
had in February. It's National Margarita Day, so we got a margarita machine at the house, and we had chips and salsa.
I don't know, man. I believe every day is Margarita
But
Day.
this year I think we're gonna next year we're gonna start a little bit later. I think we started it at
We started at like 11.
11 o'clock.
And we went to like.
That's a long day.
It's all like 9.
You really have to pace yourself on Margarita Day.
Right. That's a long day.
Yes,
It's
and
a lot
then
of tequila.
Mr. Defense Attorney here was like, okay, I think I have to drive her home. Should I call her husband? You know, so it was very fun, and we had a great time. We're going to do that again. I think that's going to become an annual
Oh, good.
event at the house. But we just like to have fun and have opportunities to have natural, genuine, honest conversations with our clients, find out how they're doing. And I will tell you that out of the events we did in November, one of our families said that they are thinking about moving. And
Gotcha.
we talked about it, and they're like, "Oh, of course we'll call you when we're ready." And I'm like, that wasn't where I was going.
Yeah, exactly, right.
But they were telling me why and what's changed in the neighborhood and what's changed in their job and where they're going to go. And for me, I was like, yeah, it sounds like it's time to relocate the family closer to work. And one of the neighborhood, there's been a little bit more crime since they've moved in several years ago. So
Okay.
with 3 little ones and work far, they decide they may want to move.
Sure.
But it's not something where we're going to call them constantly to say, when are you moving, when are you moving? They know I'm here.
They know you're there. Well, and you're doing the right things to keep the brand in front of them, right? I mean, that's
Yes.
the thing. I mean,
And it is a relationship for us. I mean, yes, everybody buys leads or gets leads from a source, but for us, the best client we have are our past clients.
Sure.
And the best referrals come from those past clients.
So you guys are really, really good at what you do. Okay, what sets you apart? What are the characteristics that you feel you have to be at that level that you guys are at? I mean,
You have to, first of all, understand that this is not an hourly job. This is a lifestyle. And a lot of people feel getting into real estate is easy and it's quick money. And they shortly thereafter realize that is not the case. So for us, we are in it for the long haul. We are in this business to help families, and what sets us apart, I really believe, is not seeing people as a transaction. We never see them as a paycheck. We never see them as anything other than a family needs a home, and we are the in-between that will connect everybody.
okay.
Well, buying a home is probably one of the most important things that you do in your life. It's at least the most expensive thing you do.
Sure, absolutely.
And it's very emotional. I mean, you're going to raise your family there. You're going to buy your dog, have them go, have your dog in this house. So what I think sets Stacy apart, and hopefully myself, is that communication. Communication is everything. And if somebody calls us, we may be on the phone, maybe not be able to answer it right then and there, but call back and as soon as possible, because they have an important question. Whether it may be a simple question, but it's important to them at that time.
Yep.
So I think a level of communication for this most important transaction in their life at this time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's well said, because the things that we talk about is like time kills deals, speed wins. And it's really about, speed to response a lot of times.
Yeah.
So if we get, like, if an email comes in and it's a question, well, we may, like, the team and everybody may be really busy and we can't get to the entire answer, like right then and there.
Right.
But we can say, hey, we're about to get into a meeting, we need 30 minutes, and then we'll get back to you with that answer. 99.9% of the time, everybody's like, oh, that's great, that's awesome, thanks so much.
They just need to know that they were heard,
Yep.
message received,
Received.
and then expectations set.
Yes.
And for us, the expectation is huge, because we never set an expectation we cannot meet. So if I say that I'm going to get you this document by the end of the day, I don't care if it's 11:50, it's getting done by the end of the day, because follow through is key.
Well, and that's something we talk with the team, and I talk to the team about a lot, is when we say end of day, that means something different to a lot of people.
Very true.
Right? So I always tell them, you got to give them a time, because our end of the day could be 11:59, right? And their end of the day may be, in their mind, 5 o'clock.
Right.
Right? So, and that was just learned because we would say end of day, and we would get feedback, well, it's the end of the day, where's my response? I'm like, dude, it's like 8:30, we're still here at the office,
You're
I haven't
like,
been able
I
to get to it yet.
And I think a lot of people have no idea truly how long our days are or how long they can be.
Sure.
So
that's why I think we establish the time kills deal, speed wins. Speed win is so important, just speed to response, and then correct. You have to be to meet or exceed an expectation. Okay, to meet or exceed any expectation in whatever you do, whatever industry, you have to be first grade at setting an expectation.
yes.
Right? Because we all have different expectations.
And what I've learned is without voicing that expectation, I don't know what theirs is and they don't know what mine is.
Correct.
So until I say something, and then every once in a while people will be like, well, why does it take that long? Or, oh, that's so fast. I thought it would take a week. You know, so everyone's expectations, especially in an industry, they're not the professional, we are.
Correct.
So they have no concept of how long it truly takes to get things done.
Yep.
Like people always ask us, when's the appraisal coming back? I'm like, we haven't even had our home inspection yet. They want to know the value
Right.
so quickly. And I'm sure you
Yep.
hear that question a lot, but a lot of people always want to know, when's the appraisal due back? And I'm like,
And I
did you
think
turn in your paperwork yet? You know,
Right.
And I think though, being honest, I mean, you always have to be honest,
Uh-huh.
And people have expectations up here, but you got to be honest with them. But no,
Reset it, right?
reset it.
Yep.
We go through listing appointments. We're not just there for 15 minutes to look around, take a few little shots. We sit down there with them at the dining room table, go through that contract, go through all the comparables in the neighborhood, recent sales, and we're there for almost an hour and a half.
So you're not telling them what they just want to hear, right?
no. And it's so funny
I mean,
because
because agents do that,
they
right?
do. And
There's some.
And you know what I tell them at the listing appointment? Someone else will come in here and tell you exactly what you want. But just so you know, when your listing expires, you're going to call me and you're going to have wasted 6 months.
Right.
So we can either set the
The
house
right price
now.
now, right?
And especially if they're moving out of the house. Why do you want to pay taxes and insurance and leave your home vacant and overprice it? So we just tell people flat out, this is the value, and an appraiser is going to come in and they're only going to look at the facts as well as the condition of your property. They are not going to call you and ask you what you feel about your house.
Right, yep.
And that is the big issue that we come across.
And we may lose a few
We have.
listings,
We
and that's
have.
fine.
Sure.
And then I watch
Well,
them sit on the market.
then a lot of times they come back.
Oh yeah,
Right,
they'll
because-
come back,
right.
or you'll get an email like 6 months later. Well, I guess you were right, and I'll just say sorry it took so long.
Yeah.
Good luck on your next adventure. You know?
Absolutely.
But we watch, and that's why we can tell people, and that's what 15 plus. How many years do you have now? 4?
4?
Almost 4 years. I mean, and we have other agents on our team as well. I mean, over 20 years of experience will help people. We're not brand new. We've seen this play out so many times. And
Correct.
that's something that we do get to bring to the table is all those experiences that we've had.
Now, your team, are you looking to continue to expand and grow the team, or
It's a
you,
very
we're-
interesting question.
Okay, all right.
I've been tossing it up, and right now our team consists of Ben and myself, as well as we have another 2 agents. We have
Right.
Natalie and Jake. They're also married. So it's like keeping it in the family.
Keep it in the
almost.
family, yeah, yep.
And they're friends of ours. So we were friends first, and then
Okay.
Natalie got her license about almost 4 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago.
3.
Okay.
And then Jake's newer to
Uh-huh.
being licensed, but has been in real estate his whole life, investing, buying, selling.
Right.
So we're a very well versed team. We've got a lawyer, Natalie's a doctor, Jake's in IT. It's like we're a sharp team.
And you're just the
I'm
realtor.
just here.
Right,
I'm like-
you're the realtor, right?
Yeah, I was an English major.
Okay.
I taught for 1 year and realized this isn't my calling.
But
So,
Yeah.
you're a realtor that survived 2008 in California.
yes, I have. I survived that for sure. And-
That's
and
big.
that was hard at the time.
Yeah.
There were stressful times for sure.
Yeah.
And next year, the team for me, it's not about growing the team as
Okay.
much as it is like honing our skills and using all 4 of us to our best capacity.
Okay.
You know, like we each have an area that we feel drawn to, like a specialty in a
So
way.
really defining roles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for us, we could take another agent or two, that'd be great, but I really don't know that that is the path for the Massar Real Estate Group right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
2019 will be the year of really branching out,
Uh-huh.
and then from that point deciding if growth is necessary.
Yeah, I think, you know, we talk about that, you know, butts and seats in our world is not a good thing, right? You know, it's quality over quantity, but, you know, for me, in continuously building out like my team, it's just understanding each one's roles, defining the roles, meeting regularly with the team so that we understand, okay, how are we working well? What are the opportunities to improve? And then are there things that I'm seeing or they're seeing that we could add to the team that could ultimately help us impact more people's lives? Right? So I mean, it's those kind of conversations you have to have, because just because you want to add somebody because it's growth or it's more business,
Yeah.
maybe hurts, you know, what you're really going after in the long picture, right? Short term, yeah, you pick up some revenue, that's great,
Yeah.
but then you're missing the bigger picture of what you're
Well,
building.
Stacy, what she wants to do, she wants to still perform and give service to our clients. Like this year or this coming year, she's going to get her broker's license.
Oh, nice.
To-
Congratulations. That's good.
Well, got to take the test.
You got to take the test. Well, I get it.
She'll,
but yeah.
she'll do fine. You know, but
Yeah.
it's a leadership,
Uh-huh.
and it's not to open up her own brokerage.
No.
firm, but we love being.
I just
with
want to
JP,
be
right, yeah.
at the highest level I can be.
Yep.
And be able to bring as much value to anybody on my team as possible. So we've had other agents on the team in the last year or two, and you know
Right.
what? They fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And they fall off because my expectations are a little bit different, as well as I believe that when you get into business and you're self-employed.
You need to be better at resetting those expectations. Well, nobody's going to, I mean, you know, your expectations of yourself or what you have are going to be at the highest
But I
level.
believe a new agent should have the thirst to learn and want to do
Okay.
well. And if you're not going to do the very basic things to be successful in real estate or in any job where you're going to be self-employed,
Right.
we're not going to mesh well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to start my business over in a state where I knew nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to grow it, not because of anything other than the will, the desire, and the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And when people come to me and they think that they're going to get handed opportunity, they're on the wrong team.
Right.
You know, and that's just.
Well, and I will tell loan officers the same thing. You know, like they'll come and want to join or get involved and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, "What's the number one thing I can do?" And I just say, "Try to outwork me. Do what I do and try to outwork me." Not that what I do is perfect and the absolute 100%, but I know it works. I know over time you will win if you can do what I'm doing and you can try to outwork me, and then make it your own. Right, and then you'll find, okay, hey, maybe I don't want that, I want this, and I'll let that go, but I'll take this on, and you know, but a lot of them just don't want to put in the work that it takes to get to the level that they think they want to get to.
And they think
You know?
they a lot of people do think it's easy, but I got an email from Jake a couple weeks ago, and he said 2019 I'm going to do more deals than you, and I was like, yeah, let's bring it. Like I love that. Like for
Yeah.
me, it's like, and I love competition because I just love having the goal, and I love someone who's going to say, I'm going to do more than you. I'm going to say, yeah, let's do it because we both win.
Well, yeah, being competitive in a team environment with great leadership is very healthy. I mean, you have to be a leader that wants everybody else to achieve more than even what you're achieving, to thrive more than what you're able to thrive, because then if you can focus on them, then everybody will win in a team, right?
But we're not just about work. We have fun.
Oh,
You
we
do?
Yeah.
Great time.
You
know?
do?
Oh yeah, we have a good time. We do things
Golly.
together. We have fun, and
We do. We have to.
there's
You-
balance, and
Yeah. Well,
family, and
yeah, I think I'm out there on record as saying I don't believe in balance. It's more harmony, because in our world, I mean, we're in it all the time. It doesn't
The
stop.
scales are always tipped one way or the other. They're never level.
so not this
you know?
past year, but the year before, I think Stacy went on 8 vacations out of the country.
I did.
Wow.
Listen.
And I only went on a few of
I've
them.
been on 8 vacations in 8
I
years.
know.
It was a very odd year. We
Yes.
had friends get married in Mexico. They're actually the other couple on our team. A friend of mine wanted a trip to Costa Rica. She's like, "You want to come?" I said, "Yes."
Well,
I mean, so many things
But
happened.
see, here's why I could say I haven't been on 8 vacations in 8 years. Because every time I go somewhere, I'm working.
Yeah.
Well,
I've definitely been 8 places in 8 years, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's always like a cell phone, a laptop, and I'm ready to roll.
I've learned how to vacation, and the part of our team that has grown is the back office.
Oh, that's
the
good.
part you don't see. So we now have a full-time transaction coordinator.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Following up from as soon as that contract gets executed, we have someone in place that will see all the details through, watch the deadlines, watch the timelines, and make sure everything's in place.
Okay.
And then we also added a client concierge. And
Oh, nice.
That's a term that you created, right?
I think so. I don't know where it came from, but I just love the fact that she is behind the scenes making sure, because when life gets busy, the first thing to go would be like, I'm not, holding these newsletters, or I'm not going to write
Sure.
my e-newsletter. So she makes sure, and she's like, hey, this is the deadline.
Uh-huh.
Where's my paragraph? And I make sure that I write. She puts it in and makes it look pretty, but I write it. It's important to me that it
Right.
really comes from me.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And she's doing that as well as arranging all of our client events. And, I've got all these ideas, but I don't have the time to see them through.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing that. So the client concierge and the transaction coordinator have been huge.
Yeah, that's.
I would love to add a personal assistant because I can't ever see.
Wait, I thought you had one.
I go to the dry cleaner.
You're
I
right.
can't seem to
To
ever
the
get to
grocery
the
store?
grocery store or.
Oh, I mean, no, that you have to do that online.
I know.
I mean, you got to order and have it delivered to you.
I can't do that.
So I
No?
want to pick my own produce.
Well, okay, I'll tell you this: produce, you got to go
See, so
pick
you gotta
yourself,
go
right?
anyway. And your
They
meats.
can, yeah, they can bring you all the other stuff, but produce, it's like we order and they ship it, right, all the
Uh-huh.
time. That's what we do. But there's one thing they can never get right.
Bananas.
Well, okay, two things: bananas, yes, and avocados.
Yeah.
I was going to say avocado.
Yeah.
Avocado. I mean, how do they know? Do I want to eat my avocado tonight, or do I
Yeah.
want to eat it in 4 days?
That's funny you said it because I was at the grocery store yesterday and I went through like 4 or 5 stages of avocados. I'm going to eat this one today,
right,
and this one tomorrow, and then this one on Tuesday.
We do the same thing. I will do the same
We
thing.
have a
I'm
lot
like,
of
okay,
avocados at our
we
house.
do as well. I mean, it's like eggs, bacon, avocado.
Right.
I mean, tomatoes. I mean, that's I don't know what health style kicker you're on, but that's what we like to.
Sounds like it's the same one,
Okay.
but you're apparently doing much better than I am.
Well, I try, but it's not. Yeah, it's just my suits. I got to watch my pants and
yes.
everything. So that, and then we do. I just grew up in the valley, so we always eat Mexican food, and got to have avocados around and stuff like that. But yeah, pick and choose. They can't do it though. They always send me avocados for day 4.
Oh,
Oh, because they
Always
want to
day
make
4.
sure they don't. Yeah.
they're a
That's
weapon
exactly
when
what
you
it
get
is.
them because you can throw it at somebody, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I just need a little bit more time.
Uh-huh.
It seems like for those personal things.
Mhm.
So that would be huge. I do
Need a
someone
personal
comes clean my
driver. Need a
house.
personal driver.
Yes, when Ben and I are together, he always drives, so I can work while he drives.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's.
That works.
What's
Yep.
up a stager?
Yes,
On
we
the
do.
team.
We have a home stager.
So how many homes does somebody have to see before they write a contract? Like if you're going to take a buyer out.
Okay, so there's a rule. Like I've been to many classes, and they say that they should pick. I think it was the most was like 6.
Uh-huh.
Like
Okay.
if you're really good at what you do, you shouldn't have to show more than 6 homes.
Right.
And I
Okay.
will tell you, when we do a lot of buyer meetings where we'll sit down with buyers
Okay.
and we'll say, what are you looking for? We'll make a wants and a needs list.
Yep.
And when I get to the house, and I keep it in my folder, when I get to the house where it's, it meets everything and they're not sure, I'll flip it around and be like, everything's checked off. What am I missing here?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you find out what they really want.
Really want,
Because
right.
when you show them their
That's
list
great.
and
That's
it's
awesome.
been checked off,
Yep.
it's like, are we writing this up or not? And if they say no, then me as the agent, I have to figure out, are they really buyers?
You have to uncover something at that
Yes.
point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, I guess this is everything we asked for. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. But they don't, when you show too many, they lose sight
Yep.
of the plan.
I don't
of the
mind
goal.
showing the houses. I mean, that's fine and dandy.
Exactly.
But if we're going to waste our time and their time, let's just get it done.
Be
Well,
efficient.
Yeah, I think that's valuable information is actually to sit down, have a consultation, really try to uncover, okay, do you want your master upstairs and other bedrooms downstairs or vice versa? I mean, like give me what it is that you are really important to you. No pool, with a pool. Because I mean, if you
Single
don't.
story, 2 stories.
Exactly.
You
You
got
gotta-
4
you gotta
kids and
flush
you don't
that
want
out.
a 3-2? I mean,
Right.
it's not going to work.
Exactly. You got to flush all that out so that you can say, I know that there are, 30 homes on the market, but the reality is there's 5 that match what you just gave me. Right? These 5 are where we need to focus.
Let's
Right.
see these first.
Exactly.
And if these don't work, we
Then
can
let's reevaluate
reevaluate.
your must-haves. Right? So you have these, I'm assuming y'all do this, like your must-haves
Yes.
and your wants. Like
we
your
have several clients who they need 2 bedrooms down because a parent is living with them.
there you go.
So if you don't tell me it's a must-have and I only put the master down, that whole day is a waste.
Correct.
So if you don't do that initial appointment of what are your must-haves, and if you've not done enough transactions where you can ask the questions of, is anyone going to be living with you? Are stairs okay? The other big one is, a tub. We're seeing a lot of homes that are being built today, there's no tubs in the house. Or people want a master tub, but the builders are building the large showers right now with multiple shower heads because that's
Love
what
those.
people are asking.
Yeah.
Right. But then you have a mom who's like, I need a master bath. Well, guess what? I'm going to click through all the photos that fit and see if there is a tub in that master bath. If there's not, I'm not going.
Or if they have a kid that goes to a particular school. I always ask, what school does your kid go to?
Yeah.
Why are you asking me this? This is kind of a strange question. Well, would you like to continue to go to this school, or do you want to go to another school?
Right.
Let's make
Yep.
that decision right here and now. You know?
Right.
Because that'll really define your search. So without that first meeting, people go to Zillow and they're like, here's a house and I want to go see it. And I look at it, I'm like, it doesn't meet any of the things on
Not only
their
does it not
list.
meet it, because it's Zillow, it's probably already sold.
Right.
Right? I mean, so let's get you off of those sites first.
Absolutely. And we'd like to, as soon as we get an online lead, we like to pull them,
Yep.
set them up on our automatic portal through the MLS, which is the most current, up-to-date information that you can get on the status of any property. And once we get them in our system, it's so much easier for us to capture them,
Right.
as well as let them know that the information they're getting is valuable. Don't go drive by the house that sold 3 months ago. They tell me it's perfect, but there's no sign in the
There's no
yard.
sign in the yard,
And I
right?
look it up and I'm like, it's sold in 2017.
Well, speaking of that, and there's a lot of disruption that's going on, and you hear, different things that are out there, mainly really like technology right now as that's coming into our industries, right? What are you guys doing, and how is that potentially impacting your business? How are you leveraging it to be better at what you guys are going to be able to do for your listings, your sellers, and your buyers?
Number one for me is photography.
Gotcha.
Video is coming.
Can we excuse just for a minute?
Oh,
Yeah.
you taking a phone call? Okay.
I
Yep.
think one of the judges is.
Yep. You got to do that.
All
It's
right.
all good. Hey, man, you got to do that one. So technology. Yep.
The photography and even videography,
Yep.
the aerial photos, those are things that I feel should be expected in the norm.
Right.
We see so many listings with bad photography.
Yep.
And
It's like somebody just took it with their cell phone and.
they did.
Yeah.
And my thought is, my job as a listing agent, yes, I see you through the contract, but my first job is marketing. My first job is it's a numbers game. The more people that come into this house, the more opportunity we have to find the right person.
Okay.
Okay, so if I can't bring you in to make you want to see that house, I'm failing my first job. So the technology, there's a company we just started using where they do the photography, they'll make the website, they'll do aerial if you want,
Okay.
but they will build you in the app that will tell you how many people are clicking on it, how many people are liking it, and for
Sure.
me, it's data.
It's data. Right. Exactly.
And I send it over to my sellers and I'm like, hey, this is what we've done today, this is what we've done this week, here we are. And
I mean, that's important, guys. I mean, that having those types of tools, that type of data is important. That feedback as
Yeah.
a seller
they
is
just
important.
want to know. And if I don't have that information, I have nothing to say that they don't already know. They know if they've been to the house or not. So photography is really the number one. The video, There's so many different systems right now that for lead generation. It's just a matter of finding one that works.
Okay.
And for us with technology, it's really, I mean, our cell phone is our biggest tool. We make sure all lead sources come directly to us.
Okay.
So that we get that speed to lead.
Speed to lead.
And
Yep.
if someone's calling on that listing, it's getting directly sent to my text.
Right.
At the end of the day, I get the text, an email, and sometimes a voicemail.
Right. Yep.
And my voicemail is something that is a huge asset to me, I believe. I have Umail. You heard of Umail?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Because if I'm in an important meeting, I can at least read what's happening and respond, or task somebody else out to respond before I may get that call back.
Yep.
So and if you don't know, Umail is just a service where they just transcribe your emails and they send you a text message.
Transcribe your voicemail.
Your voicemail.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Send it to you. Yeah. Send it to you in an email.
As well as
a text. Okay. Cool. That way you can.
So yes, you can also look and see. Okay, this is an emergency. I really have to step out of this appointment, and I got to take care of this. For the most part, though, it really does just ensure that by phone, email, and text, I have not missed anybody. So by the time my head hits the pillow, all has been put to bed, literally. So that's a tool that seems to be really important.
So how many buyers go through an open house and actually make an offer on a house, at an open house?
Okay, so in 15 years, I believe 2.
Yeah.
I've sold 2.
Open houses.
Personally, some of them have come in, called their agents, yes, and come back.
Okay.
But for the agents, I've sold 2, and I've gotten a handful of buyers over the years. Open houses are truly a tool for the seller.
Okay, for the seller.
They believe that's going to sell their house.
Okay.
We educate them and let them know, like, truly open houses, if they have an agent, they're going to call their agent and go see it.
Right.
Open house is a tool for us to potentially pick up new clients.
There you go.
And once we tell them that, they're like, oh, if you want to do one, that's fine. But they stop requiring that of us.
Right.
Because it really is a tool only for us.
Right.
Very rarely do people just wander in without an agent and haven't thought about moving and decide to buy
the
that
house.
one.
Right.
I mean, it's such a
It's really more for the neighbors to come in and check out the house.
And we had one a couple weeks ago where we invited the neighbors. And Jake brought his barbecue, and we wound up having like a block party, and we got some great feedback. Lots of people came in that wouldn't have come in. They got to meet us. It was more of I don't know what the word is for it. It was just a meet and greet almost of the neighborhood, more so than it was an open house.
Okay.
So they walked in it, they looked at it, but they really got an opportunity to meet and visit with us and our team.
So you guys obviously have the roles. You're doing a lot of the negotiating, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what would be like 3 or 4 great tips for a buyer, to know before they're making an offer, to do before they're making an offer? I mean,
my very first one you'll love, because my very first one is if you can get pre-approved.
Well,
not even just pre-qualified.
Yeah.
Like if you can know your lender, get everything done ahead of time, I can write you a more aggressive, beneficial offer.
Right.
And let that seller know, hey, they're not just pre-qualified. They've been through the system, tax returns are in, all documentation is in. All we really need is a contract and appraisal.
It's always my first recommendation as well. Well, it is. I mean,
I'm telling you.
How do you know? And I'll say, I don't really care how much you make, right? I've had people that make millions of dollars that can't buy the house.
Right.
So it's not so much what you like. They don't understand how much they can buy.
They don't.
And so whether you're buying the $40,000 house or the $10 million home, if you're not paying cash, you got to check with the lender to make sure that it's something that they can finance.
It's such a strong tool for me as an agent.
Right.
If you are pre-approved, pre-qualified is like the bare minimum. But if I can have you fully in that system, I can write a more aggressive offer at a lower price. I can ask for closing costs. I can kind of finagle that contract, because I can say, listen, we can close in a shorter period of time.
Sure.
Or even if that's not an asset to the seller, we can say, sure, we know exactly what our mortgage payment's going to be. We can do a lease back, and I can work out those numbers. So the pre-qual and the pre-approval is certainly number one.
Okay.
The second one is be flexible. Buyers who are flexible on sellers' terms can get a much better offer accepted. if they're like, I must be in by blah, 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 then the sellers are like, well, that doesn't work for me. I'm just going to take another offer.
Mm-hmm.
So buyers being flexible really is huge. And we've told people it's going to cost you less money to go to a hotel for 5 days and wait
Right.
it out than it will be for you to pay another month's rent and to wait for the other home that's perfect. This is the perfect house, make it work.
Okay.
So we always try to have our buyers be flexible when we're writing offers.
I like that. Okay.
What else?
How
I was going
important?
to say that.
Okay.
How important is like making a quick offer? Like if they find the house, let's say on Saturday, and they in this market and they want to talk about it and everything, and then they want to come back on Monday or Tuesday to actually make the offer. I mean, how?
With the market right now, there's a little bit more time maybe than there used to be.
Okay.
But, there's the funny meme out there. It's like, if you like it, you should have put an offer on it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the
Wait,
Beyonce, right?
Okay, yeah, okay, I got it, yeah. That's the ring deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's so true with houses. Like, if you see the one, why do you have to wait? There's nothing to wait for. Some people believe that they have to see 50 houses before they know. And I'm thinking, almost every buyer has the feeling.
Well, and there's something called an option fee as well, right? So you put an offer on that house.
Most likely it costs you $100 for 7 to 10 days.
To get out of it, right?
Right.
Right? I mean, so lock the house up. Okay.
Yeah, so we will tell our clients that, but but we also say, this is your money. You are making this monthly payment, so this is your decision.
Right.
We can set you up in a situation where you can get this house. You can possibly change your mind in a few days.
Right.
So, but we want to put you in the best position, but it's your decision.
Things don't get better with time in many aspects of life.
Right.
And real estate is certainly one of them. It's location, 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 and I believe timing is huge in real estate. And if you see a house and you really believe it's the one, you got to go for it.
So when you talk about being flexible, is that also saying, look, you have to be willing to negotiate?
Yes, they have to be willing to negotiate, but just, whatever is really important to a seller, if that's your house, see if you can't make that work. Because I'm going to come in on closing costs, or I'm going to come in on price, or
repairs.
Later for repairs, but you can't beat somebody up in the beginning and then think you're going to come back later for repairs and hammer them again.
Right.
We really try to balance by saying, listen, this is what the house is worth. If we can get it for a little bit less, if something comes up on the repairs, we're still on good terms with the seller, and you have a more higher chance of getting repairs or a credit to help you do that later.
Gotcha.
I also love when my buyers, we encourage them to ask for a credit instead of repairs.
Yeah. I mean, do the repairs yourself. Just get it.
So many lawsuits and issues come up over repairs. It's
That's
just
a
not
great
worth
point.
it.
That's a great
and
point.
We've got a closing today, and they're doing their final walkthrough today. And it got to the point where I represent the seller. The seller was like, I'll put the house back on the market and keep your earnest money. We've done everything. Here's the receipts. And it turned out we were just working truly with a bad agent.
Sure.
Who was creating problems that didn't exist. And the buyers actually found the seller and called him directly, and he lives out of state. That's how bad that agent was. Went around the agent, found the seller, called him direct, and said, we love this house. We are fine. We don't know what our agent is doing.
Oh, wow.
So my seller was like, okay, we're going to be fine on Monday, but the point is you don't need to do that. Ask for the credit and do your own repairs.
Exactly. It simplifies everything, and then you get it exactly the way.
These buyers would not accept a credit, and we now realize why, because the agent at the end was just trying to, I guess, squeeze out more, and my seller's like, this is an investment property. I don't need this. Like, I'll put it back on the market and keep your money, and all of a sudden, we're going to fix
things
it.
change.
Yeah.
Right, things changed a little bit.
Yeah.
The negotiation changed
It's
a
really
bit.
hard to play chicken when only one person's playing,
And the flexibility of things, we see a house that they want to buy. We call the other agent. What do your clients need? Do they need a lease back? How quickly do they want to go? Are they good to go right then at funding, or do they need a few days?
The big thing I think I'm hearing there is communication,
Yes.
Yes.
right? I mean, you're just talking to them, hey, let's figure out how to make this work for both parties.
Yeah, and it's an agreeable, happy situation. We've turned down many clients, and people can't believe that I say that or I do that. But if we're not a good fit, we're not a good fit. And life is short. We love what we do. If you're not going to kind of work in the capacity that's going to bring all of us harmony,
Right.
we were happy to refer you to another agent that we think might be a better fit. And we're not even talking about our team, just to another person, because those clients that expectations don't meet our expectations, it will be a challenge from start to finish.
And I'll tell you, this is speaking from experience, a no sometimes can deliver you more yeses. Right?
Yeah.
It really can, because you take on that client knowing that it's not the right client for you, or you're not the right person for them, and it just creates more work, more communication, more time, and it's just hard all the way through.
Yeah.
And one, you've lost more opportunity to help other people because of the time, energy that you've taken to focus on that. And you missed them, and you lost those people.
did.
And then, because you were so focused, it probably didn't go well, because in the very beginning, it wasn't going to go well. You still took them on, and then they weren't happy, right? Even though you got the deal done or whatever it is, they were not happy.
Because they were never going to be happy, right?
Which then led you to not getting any more referrals from them. And I've learned to say no, and they appreciate it, because it's how you deliver the no. They appreciate that, and they've actually referred me people.
That's funny.
Right? And then I've gotten to keep other people from it because it didn't take any time. So that was just maturity in business that I had to get to, because early on is like, I'm going to take on everybody.
Everybody I can, wherever I can.
Exactly. And
you know, the more fine-tuned we are as well with our market and where we want to work and where we want to focus our energy, the more relationships we build in the community, the more referrals we're getting closer to home.
Well, you guys are out in Rockwell, but like you said, you work everywhere.
We do. We work everywhere. But my very first year here, if you looked on a map, you'd see dots everywhere.
Right.
And then the last couple of years, there's a lot more dots closer to home. Because we are building those networking relationships, business relationships, and partnerships.
What's 2019 hold for you?
2019, I believe it is going to be our best year yet. I really believe that. I feel like we have systems that we've taken time to create, systems in place. We've got a solid team in place. We don't have a buyer that will not have someone available to show. You know, even if all four of us on our team are busy, we have so many wonderful agents that we work with in our company, and not even in our company, that will help out.
Sure.
We're really a family. I mean, a lot of people think real estate agents are, you know, aggressive, or we don't like each other, but we're truly like a tiny little family that wants to help each other, and we understand the struggles of a client wants to see it now or when we're unavailable.
Yeah.
So 2019, with systems in place, the right people in place, the back office in place, I think we're just gonna have a whole lot of fun. And when we really shift away from, we've got goals. I mean, we have written goals. Everybody does.
Right.
But when you shift away from that to
having fun,
I just want to have so much fun next year, you know, and not just like, you know, I'm not talking about like vacations and stuff, but
fun in your work-life harmony.
Yeah.
Fun in that, right?
And part of, you know, some of the things that we've done for fun is those client events, they really are fun. And, you know, we do carpool.
We love seeing these old clients, you know, that we haven't seen you in, you know, a year or so. And, you know, oh yeah, come over to our house, or we can go to your house, you know. We love seeing the houses that they move into, what they've done. You
Getting
know,
invited
they may have
back.
painted a wall here, or built a shop, or built a pool in the back. I mean, it's like, wow. It really,
you kind of see
That's
where
fun for
it
us.
was and then where it is now, and just how they're living, how they're living in the dream that you guys initially saw in the very beginning, right? When y'all put that house in front of them, you know, because they talk to you about what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, how the family's going to, you know, engage in all the things. And I know they talk about it. We did when we bought our homes, right? I mean, it was always the dream of what it was going to become.
I love getting random pictures of like stuff.
Yeah.
This is what we did. But 2019, you know, people, there's a lot of talk about the market, and, you know, if you listen to the news, you'd think, you know, woe, you know, everyone's like, woe is me, the market's bad. First of all, I don't like to watch the news. It's all negative.
I only watch like CNBC.
Right.
I mean, literally, I don't watch TV, like news, stuff like that, because it is
Yeah.
always negative.
It's negative. We try to really
There's
surround
always some
ourselves.
murder.
Yeah.
There's
I
always
know.
something. You got to be busy.
Well, one thing I just found out is you really got to show up to court. That's the judge going, Ben, your client didn't show up last week. What are we going to do? I said, Judge, I'll get him there as soon as possible. I mean, but that's developing a relationship. I developed a relationship with some of these courts in Dallas. So, you know, they trust me to get this person into court. We can take care of this matter without having to issue a warrant and having them being brought to court in
Right.
a nice little orange
Trust
outfit.
is the number
And
one.
orange
Trust is the
And
number
any
one
business,
currency.
I guess.
Right.
Right.
But you know, you seem to have a lot of fun with what you do with work and all the stuff you put out there. Your office is awesome. I want to come work
Thank you.
here. This is kind of what we're trying to create within our team and within, you know, our office is just the more fun you have,
Yeah.
the happier you are as a person. People pick up on that. They want to work with that. They want to be with that.
Well, it's the, I mean, the happiness, the energy, and the enthusiasm that you bring to what you do every day it attracts the same thing back to you, and it pushes away everything else, right? I mean, it
That's
really does push away negativity, and yeah, I mean, people may come to you in that state, but then as you're putting out that positive energy, it breaks them down because they know they can't get to you. They know they can't penetrate it because I may listen to it and be like, that's awesome. You know, I get it. I understand. Now let's talk about something different. Let's deflect that and talk about how you're going to change it, right? Because I can't go down that rabbit hole. I'm not
Yeah.
going to allow myself to because then it just brings everything
It does.
down.
It really does. And I've worked really hard, I'd say the last 6 months or so, focusing on what I want to attract, how I want to be. And it's amazing. I have this journal, I write it every morning and every night. And the things that I'm writing down that I'm looking for, opportunity, I'm looking for certain clientele, I'm not discount. I'm not looking for any of these people that want everything.
Sure.
I'm looking to
Absolutely.
work for people who respect me and it's a mutual relationship. It's coming. You know, it's coming and the things that I was accepting in the past that I no longer am is somehow finding other people, other agents. I don't know.
There's enough people to do business your way,
Yeah.
right? That you can work with and trying to work with everybody.
And there's enough business for everybody.
There
Abundant.
is.
There is abundance everywhere, and if you live in a scarcity mindset, it's a scary place to be. Like
Yeah.
there's plenty of business for everyone. There's I don't even know how many thousand agents in DFW. It doesn't matter.
About 50.
50,000, yeah, probably.
Well, somebody's
One
always
per
moving,
3
you
people.
know?
I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Life happens.
I feel there's 50,000 agents. There's
yeah.
50,000 loan officers. I
everywhere
mean,
you look.
yeah.
But abundance is there, and there's plenty of business for everybody.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you coming onto the show.
Thank you for having us.
Being our 70th
70th.
Yeah.
70th guest.
Wow.
It's awesome. Well, you know, we do these
We're
because
the streamers.
yeah, right. God,
That's
Brandon,
100.
we're missing that. Oh, is that 100?
That's 100, I'd say.
Okay. Well, you know, we put these out there because it's important for me to, you know, just introduce you to like my audience, my brand, let them see what you guys do, connect you guys with them, and hopefully, you know, one day what happens, whether it's tomorrow, it's 6 months, or a year down the road, somebody says, "Oh my gosh, God, you know, Bob, thanks so much for introducing me to Stacy and Ben. It was awesome. They helped me sell a house, or you know, they helped me find a home, whatever it is. I mean, if we can put you guys out there and then somehow, some way impact your life, that's what these jam sessions are all about. So I appreciate you guys coming in.
Can I return the favor?
You know
mean,
what?
when are you gonna hop in my car?
If I could be in the carpool conversation, okay, you guys know all about the carpool conversation. You got to tune in. So would they find it on your personal page?
It's on my personal page.
Okay.
I don't think you can go live on both, can you?
No, not on both. You share it. So you would have to share it from your business to your personal and stuff like that. So how do they get a hold of you guys? So let's drop some digits, a website, a Facebook page, whatever you want, so they can follow you guys or get in touch with you.
All right, we're Massar Real Estate Group. You can find us on Facebook there. Stacy Massar, 214-649-3686.
Nice.
Well, and then Ben Massar, And then just get a piece of
489.
paper. No. People have to get a piece of paper and pen, right?
Oh, they're fine.
972
Rewind.
489 1152. If you want to talk real estate, get a cup of coffee. I love coffee. Or if you have a traffic ticket. Only really in certain areas. Try to don't do a whole lot of traffic tickets. But yeah, give us a call. Ben Massar, salestexas@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, guys, look, I really appreciate you joining us today. Hopefully you got some great things from this. If you're looking to join a team, reach out to them, talk to them, see if it's a fit. If you're obviously looking to sell a house, buy a home, Stacy and
We're
Ben,
here.
There we go.
they'll be able to take care of you. You guys have an awesome day, and more importantly, make somebody else's day even better. Take care.